Right, y'all. So let's get to our final topic, and that's about Madonna, because Pride is about to end this coming weekend. We got the big Pride event coming on Sunday in New York City. So for those of you who are gonna be out there, make sure y'all stay vigilant. Make sure you're alert and make sure you stay safe because in this current administration and this crackdown and these people targeting trans people and members of the LGBT LMNOP community, you might want to be on your P's and Q's because it's about to be rough out in these streets and we cannot afford no craziness going around. And these gays don't be playing because there are some out here that will whip that ass. But anyway, I came across this article courtesy of Robert. He sent me this yesterday. Storyhorizon.net, because, one of our biggest icons in the queer music space is none other than the queen of pop, Madonna. And they went and created this whole situation where they wanted to point out why her music still resonates, especially her pride anthems resonate now more than ever. So the article says more than 3 decades since you could say it's over 4 decades since she first became an icon of queen culture. Madonna's pride anthems continue to resonate powerfully in 2025. Far beyond her catchy beats and memorable hooks, her songs have become enduring symbols of empowerment, resilience, and advocacy for the LGBTQ plus community. Madonna's impact is not just musical, it is cultural, reflecting and shaping the evolution of queer identity and activism over time. So, from the earliest days of her career, Madonna has been a fearless and vocal ally to LGBTQ plus individuals. Using her global platform, she consistently challenged societal norms and promoted inclusivity, becoming a beacon for those fighting for equality. In 2019, she was honored with the Advocate for Change Award at the GLAAD Media Awards, recognizing her lifelong dedication to advancing LGBTQ plus acceptance. Her activism extends well beyond awards and speeches. Madonna's music and public appearance has also often imbued with messages of justice and solidarity. At Stonewall 50 World Pride NYC 2019, she debuted I Rise, a stirring anthem for marginalized communities. The song's music video featured footage from various social justice movements, highlighting her ongoing commitment to global equality and the fight against oppression. Madonna's catalog is rich with songs that have become synonymous with pride celebrations and queer empowerment. One would be Vogue from 1990, which this track brought the Harlem ballroom scene to the mainstream, celebrating the artistry and resilience of queer, Black, and Latino communities. It remains a cultural landmark in queer history. Express Yourself, which came out in 1989, a powerful call for self-expression and authenticity. This song has been embraced as both a feminist and LGBTQ plus anthem. I Rise, which came out in 2019, a modern anthem of resilience and hope. It continues to inspire those facing adversity, within the LGBTQ plus community and beyond. These songs are more than hits. They're all rallying cries that offer solace, strength, and a sense of belonging to countless individuals navigating their identities. And this is something I 110% agree with, because when you create songs, there needs to be some substance to it. You can't just automatically just wake up one morning and be like, oh, I'm just going to create an anthem and pander it to the gays who, are thirsty to, have something that they can latch on to and identify with. Sometimes anthems just become anthems accidentally, where we have Vogue, and you saw like voguing, the ballroom girls, of course, when that was something we hadn't seen before. And in 1990, I was a wee baby gay. So seeing something like that on TV, and I'm still trying to understand my sexual orientation, seeing something like that on TV and seeing the girls out here with all these flexible dance moves and things, I got my life, which made me sit up and pay attention to her. And then you see Express Yourself, which basically was all about, be yourself unapologetically. And we're seeing Madonna up there just being fruitless and fancy free and carefree in how she moves as a dancer, and the lyrics. Don't go for second best, put yourself to the test, or put your lover to the test. But I say put it all to the goddamn test. You have to make it, express yourself. And if you want it right now, let them show you how. Express what you got, baby ready or not. Okay. And I Rise definitely, when you hear that song, especially with the lyrics, it's a political call to action. So that was like intentional. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna write a song, and it's like, yeah, we need to wake up, which was the ongoing theme for a lot of the songs on Madam X, A Call to Arms. Now let's get into her cultural impact and continued relevance. In 2025, Madonna's influence is as palpable as ever. Her music remains a staple in Pride playlists and events worldwide, a testament to her lasting impact on queer culture. Moreover, her recent advocacy for trans rights, including her public support for Connor Ives' Protect the Dolls campaign, which you've seen a lot of celebrities, including the person we just talked about, Pedro Pascal, has been wearing the shirt, shows her unwavering commitment to the ongoing fight for equality and acceptance. Madonna's Pride anthems matter today because they encapsulate the LGBTQ plus community's journey from struggle to celebration, from marginalized to mainstream recognition. Her music not only reflects this transformative journey, but also fuels continued progress. In an era still grappling with questions of identity, justice, and acceptance, Madonna's songs stand as powerful reminders of love, courage, and the unyielding fight to be oneself. And I feel like that is what it was always about when it came to Madonna, that she gave a lot of us who were grown who didn't really have sort of that outlet. She gave us something to stand for. She gave us something to live for. She gave us a reason to just be comfortable in our skin as homosexuals. And not only homosexuals, but just members of the LGBT community. Because I'm sure there's lesbians and things of that nature that they live for Madonna. And I know the straights, they love Madonna. They like all her earlier stuff. But, those of us who stuck around, the girls, the gays, the theys, and all those in between, we live for that. But I also came across this thing, because shout out to Gay Times, because we were talking about gay anthems, right, in Madonna's career. So they had applied a list of songs that we can get into that have that cultural impact in regards of the Leviticua community, like her gay anthems. I wonder if this song is actually in there. Girls Gone Wild. We do love that song. Or this song. Would this be hung up? Shout out to Cloud. Whatever happened to him? First of all, I had a big crush on Cloud when he was 21. I was like, who is this cutie? Him and Miron, those are my two. Those are my two crushes with the confession store. It was Miron, who wore like the red jacket, and Cloud, who was always showing that snatch waist and that chest. And I think he's like half Asian. But anyway, let's go back to this video, because it's like this is the whole Kazaki era where the gays is up in here wearing the pumps alongside Madonna. And I do live for this video, even though the song is very much, well, it's Betty Benassi, that whole type of vibe, like it's very dated sonically, but it still works. So Gay Times had a couple of songs that they picked of the Queen of Pops. They have Madonna's Material Girl. They have Material Girl, which peaked at number 3 in the UK, saying one of the first songs to establish Madonna as an icon. The video for Material Girl saw the true Queen of Pop pay tribute to Marilyn Monroe's iconic performance of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. It's a feminist anthem and still receives a regular spin wherever we browse sugardaddy.com. What's that? Then they also picked True Blue, which peaked at number 1 in the UK, saying before she became the cutting edge courting pop icon we know and love today, Madonna was pure camp. Nowhere is that more apparent than on True Blue, the title track and third single from her third studio album. There's bonus points available if you know the choreography. Then they have Open Your Heart, which peaked at number 4 in the UK. So it says in the music video for Open Your Heart, Madonna pays homage to gay icons Liza Minnelli and Marlene Dietrich, and once again attempts to subvert the male gaze as a peep show club dancer. Almost 30 years later, she performed the song alongside Macklemore and a choir at the 2014 Grammy Awards in support of same-sex marriage. As Queen Latifah officiated the unions of 34 gay and straight couples, if that doesn't cement its status as a gay anthem, we don't know what will. Then they have Express Yourself from Like a Prayer, which peaked at number 2 on the UK charts. They said the second single from Madonna's fourth studio album, Express Yourself, was acclaimed for its feminist themes and gender bending video, in which she portrays a masculine, crotch grabbing alter ego. Fun fact, Express Yourself is the third most expensive video of all time. I wonder how much was it? Because we know one of her expensive videos. I was like, what was the first and the second? But I know one of the videos that was her most expensive was Bedtime Story. I believe that was her most expensive because you seen that video? That video was crazy. And yeah, that was like up there with Scream. Because I remember, I think Scream with Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson, that was like a $7 million budget. But I think Madonna paid, I think that was like maybe $3 to $4 million. I have to look that up. Or if y'all watching the chat, if y'all can look see how much the budget for that was. So then they have Vogue from the I'm Breathless album. So Vogue is probably Madonna at her gayest. That peaked at number 1 in the UK, by the way, because if you're not noticing, I guess Gay Times is a UK conglomerate. And so the Deep House anthem became the Queen's most commercially successful single at the time, topping the charts in over 30 countries. And critics have been often credited the song and video with bringing ballroom culture to the forefront of pop culture. And that is what she did, not colonizing and taking all the credit. Because if that's what it was, then why would she have ballroom girls performing in the video? Then Madonna's always given people their credit in regards of if you're going to take from marginalized community and usher a lot of the underground into the mainstream. Then we have Justify My Love from the Immaculate Collection, which peaked at number 2 in the UK. Now, Justify My Love first appeared on the Immaculate Collection compilation and marked a transitioning period for Madonna as she left the camp upbeat sounds of Vogue and Hanky Panky behind and became a bona fide sex pioneer. The accompanying black and white music video was banned by MTV for its explicit portrayal of sex, sadomasochism, and bisexuality. In a typically unapologetic style, Madonna responded to the ban saying, "Why is it that people are willing to go and watch a movie about someone getting blown to bits for no reason at all, but nobody wants to see 2 girls kissing and 2 men snuggling?" Because it's Catholic guilt. You know, when it comes to the religion, that's what they do. They like to throw, oh, well, we could accept violence. We could accept people getting a shot in the head or blown to smithereens. But if you actually show genuine intimacy, especially amongst a group of people that you've been told by the church that is wrong and an abomination, or that sex is supposed to be for procreation and not for pleasure, which I beg to differ. Sex and should be, in the words of George Michael, sex is natural, sex is fun. So you should be able to fornicate with whoever, wherever you want and whenever you want, and not be feeling like you should be ashamed to enjoy the pleasures of either someone of the opposite sex or the same sex. Okay, so then they also have Fever from Erotica, which peaked at number 6 in the UK. Now, while the title track and accompanying SEX book may have dominated the headlines, Madonna's most controversial record, Erotica, also brought with it this slinky reimagining of Fever, a song originally released by Little Willie John and later popularized by Peggy Lee, which saw Madonna add a hip-hop twist and her own original lyrics to the mix. And that's how you remake a song. And this was said, not literally try to sing it like how somebody else did it. The kaleidoscopic video is Madonna at her weirdest, and the entire era remains a subject of fascination among pop culture fanatics. Ooh, hold on, because I just closed my thing. It was like, oh, then we have, there's a lot of, Madonna had a lot of songs, yeah. So then we're going to get to Human Nature, which I love that music video. I love the choreography. I love the whole S&M vibe and the cornrows. Like Madonna definitely ate in that video. Now, Madonna released this leather-clad video as a complete FU to critics who criticized her provocative nature. Instead of dialing back the sex, she ramped it up with S&M imagery and hardcore choreography. It wasn't one of her biggest hits. It should have been, though, worldwide, but its impact can be seen in videos from contemporary megastars such as Christina Aguilera and Rihanna, because, of course, Rihanna had S&M. And then Christina Aguilera, like during that whole dirty era, oh, you definitely saw like a lot of the Madonna influence up in there. Even when you watch the Not Myself Tonight, that's definitely like a lot of inspiration from the Express Yourself music video. Now they also added Forbidden Love, which I don't think it ever was a charted song, but they included it in here. And it's not the one that I love from it's not the Forbidden Love that I actually like both versions, but it's not the one that she performed in the Confessions tour that was on the Confessions on the Dance Floor album. It's the Forbidden Love from the Bedtime Stories album, which came out what was it? In 94. Which is like what, 30 years ago? Child, where did time go? It says, I don't care if I'm not right to have your arms, if it's not right to have your arms around me. I want to feel what it's like, take you all inside me. The Queen of Pop confesses on the sultry deep cut. It might be the lesser known Forbidden Love, forever living in the shadows of the thumping disco banger of the same name that appeared a decade later on Confessions on the Dance Floor, but this 1994 gem is relatable to the community of obvious lyrical reasons. Well, it's like I said, I love Forbidden Love from Bedtime Stories, but no shade. I do love the Forbidden Love from Confessions way more. And I think it's just like, you know what made me really love that song even more? I mean, I loved the song when I first heard it because I like kind of like how she plays on her vocals and just the overall whimsy and the sensualness of the production and the vocals. But I feel like the performance on the Confessions tour really sold me on the song. So they could incorporate another song that wasn't a really big hit of Madonna's that should have been. And it's the opening track from the uh Celebration tour. Nothing Really Matters from the Ray of Light album. So it peaked at number 7 in the UK. It says, often noted by critics as one of Madonna's most iconic reinventions, this William Orr produced hit spawned one of the star's most memorable videos to date. It's one of her gayest, purely for the fact that nearly every single queen on the 8th season of RuPaul's Drag Race replicated the red kimono for the much anticipated failed Madonna runway. Yeah, that definitely was a chop. Because like, did y'all all just was y'all all like on a budget? Like y'all all just went online and just ordered um y'all all went and just decided to order a kimono? Like y'all didn't like Madonna's had so many different looks on RuPaul Drag Race, and the best y'all can come up was a goddamn kimono. That's why I think I loved. Wait, what season was that? That they did. Oh, they said the 8th season. Wasn't that the Bob the Drag Queen season? Bob the Drag Queen, at least he was the one that came out wearing Madonna's Cub Scouts look. Everybody else was wearing a damn kimono. Now they also put "Hung Up," which of course that song still is iconic to this day, which peaked, of course, at number 1 in the UK. Saying ABBA are notoriously selective when it comes to letting other artists sample their music, but when the Queen of Pop came calling, they agreed to let her have one of their most recognizable riffs for her own chart-topping hit. Incorporating that addictive "Gimme Gimme Gimme" sequence into "Hung Up" made it an instant disco pop classic. Throw in Madge working a pink leotard number that had previously been recorded in human history, and it became one of the gayest extravaganzas of her career. Now, still sticking with Confessions on the Dance Floor, they included another one of her big hits, Sorry, which peaked at number 1 in the UK. Now, it said credited with teaching gays how to apologize in no less than 5 European languages with its suitably dramatic opening. Je suis désolé, lo siento, y dentro los piancente, perdóname. So it was like, how many times have I heard that damn song? So yes, honey, I don't want to hear, I don't want to know. Please don't say you sorry, bitch. And she did not apologize, never for who she is or what she has done. So the mix of pulsing electronics with disco beats while Madonna downright refuses to accept your apology for the ugly bouquet of hydrangeas you've handed her is the kind of pop melodrama we live for. Now, here's a song that y'all lose points on. How dare you include Give Me All Your Lovin' in this list? I can't stand that song. That song is terrible. I understand that she created it for the Super Bowl and that whole thing, but it's like, it's not an anthem, not for the gays. I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually like the version of the song that she did on the MDNA tour, but I don't like this song. It's like one of my least favorites from her. I mean, I guess LUV Madonna and the whole campiness of the chorus works, But the song as a whole is a chop. So they said, LUV Madonna, if you want to camp up your lead single for an album campaign, a good old cheerleading champ certainly gives it plenty of kitsch value. Give Me All Your Lovin' might have had mixed reviews, falling more on the negative for me. But considering it saw a match team up with Nicki Minaj and MIA to form some sort of badass girl group, along with that controversial middle finger flip at the Super Bowl, it has certainly left its mark on the icon's pop discography. Well, it's no Jay. I do live for the fact that she got Nicki Minaj and MIA on the track, but I just don't like the song. Okay, let me switch over to this picture because this actually pertains to the next song we're about to go into. Girls Gone Wild, which peaked at number 73. Platinum bombshell Madonna made a comeback in the erotic black and white clip for Girl Gone Wild, which sees the risque performer pay homage to her controversial fifth studio album, Erotica. She gives us all the life we need in the video while I was going to say homosexual, but muscular male dancers in heels and leather underwear participate in bondage and other kinky-ish. We still live for this. I do love the video. Then she has Bitch, I'm Madonna, which I don't think peaked on the UK. Now it says being the ultimate gay icon means that you paved the way for more to come through. Beyonce, Katy Perry, Rita Ora, they all paid their dues by cameoing in the music video for Madonna's brilliantly barmy pop, Bitch, I'm Madonna, an energetic explosion of ego that demonstrated the Queen of Pop has no intention of slowing down anytime soon. Here's to the next 65 years. So, yes. Husband's mama, isn't she turning? Wait, how old is she? She about to turn 67, right? So yeah, this was I think last year when they came up with that list. So we love for Madonna. We're looking forward to the next album whenever that comes out. We know she's still working on it with Stuart Price. We know it's probably most likely if you're working with Stuart Price, it's gonna be a dance record. It's gonna, so we want something that's really gonna push the needle forward and give us some more of the, the more future homosexual anthems that we can still live here for and show that, the Queen of Pop still has it. So, yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story about Madonna's Pride Anthems? Do you think that it still matters in 2025? I do think it is because, you know what? Say what you want about Madonna, and I know a lot of people tell her she needs to hang it up. She this, she that. But look, there are a lot of still new generations of people who are discovering her music that are creating whole discourses around her music and her music videos. A lot of Gen Zers, even Gen Alphas, who are jumping on YouTube and watching her music videos and creating content around really watching her videos, her live performances, listening to her songs, and creating whole discourses around it. So say what you want about Madonna, but she is that girl. She is the icon. She is the moment. She is, all that in a bag of chips. So shout out to the queen. Shout out to the icon. Shout out to Madonna. And looking forward to hearing whatever you got coming with the new music. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. So you know what to do. Leave them thoughts down in the comments right below.